pilgrim and faithful got out of the wilderness, they presently saw a town before them. The name of the town was Vanity. And at that town was kept a fair called Vanity Fair. It was kept all year long. It bore the name Vanity Fair because the town where it was kept was lighter than vanity, and because there was all things sold there, and all things came there that were vain. This is no new business, but a thing of ancient standing. Let us consider the origin of it. Almost 5,000 years ago, there were pilgrims walking to the celestial city, as these two honest pilgrims are. And Beelzebub, Apollyon, Legion, with their companions, recognized that the path the pilgrims made on their way to the city lay through this town of Vanity. So they contrived to set up a fair where all sorts of things could be sold, and it would last all year long. And so at this fair were sold things such as houses, lands, trades, places, honours, preferments, titles, countries, kingdoms, lusts, pleasures, delights of all sorts, whores, bawds, wives, husbands, children, masters, servant, lives, blood, bodies, silver, gold, precious pearls, precious stones, and what not. Now, as I said, the way to the celestial city lay through this town with its fair. And if you go to the celestial city, you must go through this town. The Prince of Princes himself, when here, went through this town to his own country, and upon a fair day too. Yes, I think it was Beelzebub, the chief of the lord of this fair, that invited him to buy all kinds of vanities, and promised to make him lord of the fair. But he would none of it, and he kept going through the town. But because he was such a person of honour, Beelzebub led him from street to street and showed him all the kingdoms of the world, so that by some chance he might allure the blessed one to cheapen and buy his empty vanities. These pilgrims, as I said, must go through this fair, and they did. And even as they entered the fair was moved, and there was a terrible hubbub around them. Back on our little pilgrimage. As John Bunyan mentions the pilgrimage of his two characters, he talks about a place called Vanity Fair, and this has become part of our culture and our culture's language. This is a place where all kinds of things are sold that ultimately have no real value and ultimately are not very important. It lies on the way to the celestial city, and the enemy has placed it on that path to slow people down, to stop them get into the celestial city, and to question their allegiances. In that place are goods from all over the world, and always the aim is to stop the traveller from seeking the right things and getting to the right place. Some things are good in that fair, but are given the wrong position, and some things are just plain wrong and evil and sinful. As we travel through our life, we are confronted by the same. In our lives, we're told by this world, and very much at times it feels like Vanity Fair, we're told by this world that we've got to have this if we're going to be happy, and we've got to have that. But actually we know full well that those things are not really very important. However, they do seem to have an attraction. John Bunyan mentions that Jesus Christ himself walked through this place, and we think about Jesus being tempted by the devil, and the devil challenges him to turn the stones into bread to fill his stomach and to abuse his power. And he challenges Jesus to bow down before him, and he would give him the world, and he challenges Jesus to show how much God loves him by jumping off a building so that the angels could carry him. But Jesus would have none of it. In our day, we're called to consider very carefully what's important and what isn't, and to consider very carefully where and how we should spend our time and our efforts. Well, may God guide us today to spend our time and efforts on the right things and the vital things, and to give them the priority. From here, my little friend, are you ready? Ready to keep going? Yeah? Have a good day. God bless you.